Okay, welcome to lesson 25, multiply mixed numbers. Or lesson 25 of numbers and operations. Okay, here's our objective, our rules and notes. For the vocabulary, look back to multiply fractions to get a sense of what we're doing because this is the second video in the set. Okay, so now, we did this before. So to multiply mixed numbers, you're going to want to change them into improper fractions. And an improper fraction is a fraction where the number on top, the numerator, is bigger than the number on the bottom. So what we have here is 4 3/5 times 4 1/2. And so basically, you multiply, and then you add. I'm going to use the dot instead of the X. So you multiply, then add. So take the whole number here, multiply, then add. So 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23 over 5 times 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, times 9 halves. Okay, so from the previous page, we've had 23 over 5 times 9 over 2. Okay, so let's do top times top and bottom times bottom. The bottom times the bottom is 10. 23 times 9. 9 times 3 is 27, so I'll bring down a 7. I carry my 2. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. And now we have 207 over 10. This is the correct answer, but it's not finished. So in math, you're going to have to finish your answer. And how do we finish our answers? We simplify our fractions by turning them back into mixed numbers. So 10 goes into 207 how many times? Well, how many times does 10 go into 20? 2. 2 times 10 is 10. 20. Subtracting gives us 0. Bringing down your 7. How many times does 10 go into 7 evenly? 0. It goes 0 times. 0 times 10 is 0. And when we subtract, we get 7. So our remainder is 7. Okay, so now our proper fraction, 4 times 4 is about 16. So 4.5, 4 1/2 times 4 3/5, we have 20. The remainder goes on top, and the divisor goes down the bottom. 20 7/10. And that is how we multiply mixed numbers. Our next example. A number is next to a parentheses. The order is multiply because this negative is inside the parentheses. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 makes 7. 7 over 2 times 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3, times negative 3 over 2. And with fractions, it does not make a difference where you put the negative, on top or on the bottom. So 7 halves times negative 3 halves. So 7 halves times negative 3 halves. We have 1 negative, so our answer is going to be odd. Our product is going to be negative. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 2 is 4. But again, we're not done here. We're going to have to divide the 21, divided by the 4, and we get 4 goes into 21 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20, with a remainder of 1. So our final answer is negative 5. The remainder goes on the top, and the divisor goes down the bottom. Negative 5 1/1. That's how you multiply these two fractions. So this is the end of our examples. I'll meet you at the end of the video to work on the practice problems. Okay, and since we've done this before, I will assume that you've done the fractions right. So negative 7/4 times negative 5/3. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7. There's nowhere where we can cross multiply. We have two negatives, which is an even number, so our answer is going to be positive. 7 times 5 is 35. 4 times 3 is 12. And there we go. So now to divide. 35 by 12. Well, 12 times 3 is 36, so we got to go to 2. 24. And that gives us 11. So our remainder is actually 11. So 35/12 is the same as saying 2 and 11/12. This is our final answer. This answer is correct, but it's not finished. This is the correct and finished answer. Okay, and finally, 7 times 4 is 28, plus 3 is 31/4. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20, times negative 20/3. And I am going to cross multiply or factor out. I know that 20 is divisible by 4, and so is 4. So they have a common factor of 4. Make my life a lot easier. Okay, so tops multiply to tops, bottoms multiply to bottoms. 31 times 5 is 155. 1 times 3 is 3. You have two negatives, your answer is positive. And again, dividing 155 by 3. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Subtracting, bringing down a 5 once. 1 times 3 is 3. We have a 2, a remainder of 2. So 7 times 6 is about 42. But 7 3/4 times 6 2/3 will give us 51 2/3. And that is our final problem for this lesson, and that ends this lesson. So, subscribe, hit the notification button. More videos are on their way. Thanks for stopping by my channel.